We are back. This time we are talking about gear and specifically gear myths. You guys have had no warning on this.
No.
You're just getting thrown in the deep end.
Yes.
We started with Dan last time. Chris, do you want to
Yeah, I can start with the
lead the way?
Yeah. I'll start with my thought process first about gear. Like when I first started, I think I was lucky with my gear thing. So I figured that a person that had an amazing drum kit was a better drummer.
Yeah.
They were the best musician because they had the best drum kit. And for me, I had a really cheap $110 drum kit. It was called a Marinci. It was a Yamaha make. It had the Yamaha tuning forks on it, sort of thing. So it must have been a spin-off of those things.
Could be custom.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. Oh, the timber and the maple something. I don't know. Yeah, but and for me though, it was quite good because I felt like I didn't deserve a good drum kit. I needed to stay on this drum kit for a specific length of time. I didn't know what that specific length of time was, but I knew that I couldn't get a better drum kit because people would assume that I was the better player, you know? And so I just kept on, playing on my rubbishy drum kit for ages, you know, and then bought a better drum kit and then that's the way that I sort of come up with that gear idea, you know. And there were, for me, the gear thing was my heroes, my drum heroes.
Yep.
Yes.
So I was really, at that time I'd sort of moved away. My main band was U2. I loved U2, and so I always wanted a Yamaha drum kit and Paiste cymbals because I thought that's,
Of course.
you know. And then
Like
all of a sudden,
Barry?
and then all of a sudden I got into all the, you know, the sort of the tech guys, the Vinnie Colaiutas and Dave Weckels, and they all seemed to be using Yamaha and Sabian. I think it wasn't? No, sorry, not Sabian, Stilgen. Sorry, Stilgen. Yeah. So I was like, I needed that sort of stuff.
So you had to sell the Yamaha and the
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
to all go.
yeah. And then I went to Drum City, and they were selling Remo and Sabian. So I just bought Remo and Sabian cymbals. That's where I ended up going after I figured out that, you know, it didn't really matter. I think I talked to Frank Senior about, you know, something, and he just looked at me like I was so stupid. And I was like,
This myth is so strong and so hard to break.
oh, it
And
is.
I
it's
clearly
everywhere.
remember having it. I went into Drum City one day. I wasn't teaching there at the time. I was a consumer. And I remember asking Tristan Riley, what heads do I need to get the Jeff Beccaro sound?
Right.
And also, I wanted a Tony Williams ride cymbal
Of course you did.
Yes,
Yes.
on a separate occasion. And I mean, thinking back now, poor Tristan, you know, he must have been fighting back the laughter.
Yes.
But so I'm not throwing any shade because I've been there.
Yeah, that's right.
And I found out since there is no Jeff Beccaro drum head. There's
Are you
no
sure?
Tony Williams ride.
I've still been looking for them.
I don't think you're looking hard enough.
That's right.
So what you think is gear, much like you downplay someone's ability with talent, what you think is a great gear tone is a person's tone.
Yeah.
Well, we could all jump on this drum set here, and it would sound very different 3 times.
100%.
But amazing though.
Oh,
It would sound so
very-
good.
It would sound really, really,
Really good.
But 3 different types of.
Of good.
But like that's gear just completely discounts the player, completely. And it's like to your point when you're saying like you started off with your $110 Mancini special or whatever it was, the custom deal.
It was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Sounds
Yeah.
sounds
Oh,
wonderful.
good, mate.
So, I mean, I started off in the very similar sort of fashion. I got at the Trade and Exchange, which was sort of like, I guess, Amazon or Craigslist or
early eBay type.
Trade Me sort of vibe, but it was in newspaper form. And I got my kit, which was a pearl, and it was actually an acrylic kit,
Oh, nice.
which is pretty cool. I wish I still had it.
Yeah.
I think Dave Rhodes owns it now.
Nice.
I think.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I saw it in a stylist video once. I was like, that's my cat. I can tell because the seam on the first tom's stuffed. It's had this big crack right the way through. But I think you've got to start. Well, in my opinion, you have to start on something which is sort of at your kind of level.
And beat it to death.
Yeah.
And you got to know what it's like to sort of, I guess, fight your gear a little bit.
Yeah.
And because you learn how to tune very quickly if you've got a tom that's out of round or something that's just really going to make life difficult.
$150 snare, you learn a few tricks.
Oh, man, you learn how to
tape.
Yeah.
You learn how to use muffling very quickly.
Yeah. It's like that feeling when you do get that awesome sort of drum kit for the first time after stepping up from that cheap one, and then you turn those tuning lugs and you're going, what? It's not cracking.
Yeah.
It's not making that.
It's like, it's so buzzy, man. I mean, fast forward, say, I can't remember how long it was. It might have been 5 or 7 years, something like that. I bought a DW Collectors in 2006 off the floor at Drum City. Everyone at Drum City, all of the teachers, all of my sort of local heroes were all playing DWs. So I was like, I wanted to be a professional and I wanted to actually make this my life, so therefore I've got to have gear which is going to support that
and be fit for purpose, right? That's the if mechanics have
I think
all the perfect tools.
that is the consideration, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
There's probably a bit of subconscious, you got your heroes in the back of your mind a little bit, and you don't want stands falling over.
No.
You don't want a bass drum sliding around the floor.
That's right.
No.
Beyond that, you're hitting a bit of plastic that's attached to a piece of wood.
Yeah. Yeah.
And assuming it's round and, it's decently made.
Yeah.
Beyond that.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, you've seen, who was it? Matt Chamberlain, I think, went on tour on like a $500
Some
Japanese
kit.
made
Yeah.
kit. And you'll get this over and over. You'll hear studio stories of just, cheap snares that always just work.
That's right. Yeah.
And I think beyond the kit not working or things falling over or, the right pedal or the right hi-hat stand.
Oh yeah, the fastest hi-hat stand, that's crucial.
Yeah, I mean, in the shop, in the in the Drum City retail shop, we heard everything, including my embarrassing request and worse.
Yeah.
Heaps.
Oh, yeah. The same thing with a guy coming in wanting a cymbal that sounded just like Gene Krupa's cymbal, and he ended up walking out with a pack.
With 35 rods.
Yeah, yes. Well, he ended up like taking like the cheapest cymbal that was there, like an 80. This he hits. He goes, "This is it," and
That's
I'm
the
going.
guy.
It is. It's like, okay,
Of course it is.
It's like no, actually, it's not it, man. But it's good that you're that you found your budget.
I mean, in saying that, if I personally was playing trad jazz as a living, a couple of days a week, I probably wouldn't use A customs.
Sure.
There's a gear, and that's not to say A customs are bad cymbals. They're not fit for purpose, which is what you said before.
Completely.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could. A great player would make those work.
They would.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
If
you
they
get
were on
away
a house kit somewhere,
You'd
you'd make it work.
Yeah,
You'd make
right?
it happen.
Yeah.
but it might not be your first choice.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But that's why we have gear.
All the different types of things. Yeah.
So I don't think we're not saying we hate gear or we
no.
think gear's totally
Love it.
irrelevant.
No.
But the myth surrounding finding the right piece of gear to make you sound good.
Yeah.
Using gear as a metric of whether someone is good or not
Yeah.
is just so incredibly flawed.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
we both would have spent some time actually in the Drum City retail store. Like I was there for a good couple of years, every day, sort of day in, day out, picking up the phone, selling stuff, and it'd be like, I need your fastest hi-hat stand was the biggest one. It's just like, oh my God. But, fastest bass drum pedal was a consistent.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
was-
ridiculous. Yeah.
It's just, and you can see like, even recently, like I posted up on a...
Yeah, I was going to mention that one.
Yeah.
This is a great one. I love this.
On a international drum forum, just some double kick stuff and working through, I'm a nerd. I like doubles with my feet and accent patterns and all that sort of stuff because it's cool and it's unique, and you don't often see that sort of stuff being used, certainly in a groove context or outside of sort of stuff. So why not? Why not? And like all the time, I'll get, what pedals are those?
Yeah.
What pedal settings? What beta? What this? What springs? What blah,
Spring
blah.
tension.
Like,
What's the spring tension? What are you
Guys,
talking about?
Whatever it came out of the box as.
Yeah.
That's my
Exactly.
spring tension.
Yeah.
It's like the pedals are pearl eliminators. Like they're a good pedal. They're solid as. I've had them for 15 years. So
Got a bit of movement in there.
compared to something which is brand new out of the box and costs $2,500, which you can see in amongst all the boutique-y sort of stuff,
absolutely.
they're going to fight me a little bit. The spring tension, I don't know, medium. The rest of it is in me feet.
That's right.
Yeah.
With that one there, like I can remember having a Dixon double kick pedal. One of the cheap, I think it was maybe a couple $100 or something like that. Got really fast on it, in my metal days and stuff like that. But there was a lot of movement, and then I figured that, okay, I'm going to step up. I'm going to buy some DWs, got some DW 5000s, and I thought, my gosh, I'm going to tear it up on these suckers because I've been playing on these rubbishy pedals.
Yes,
now
I've been limiting myself.
Yeah, I'm obviously going to jump up like twice as fast now,
Twin turbo.
Exactly. And then you jump on there and you go, oh, I can't play these pedals. And then I thought, and then it was, I think the 5000s, it was the 9000s later on, that you could pretty much adjust them in any way, shape or form, put little weights on the beaters and you can adjust the cam action.
It's like a complete science to all of that stuff.
Yeah, and there's and I can remember at that point realizing that you just set it and forget it.
Yeah.
You go, okay, like I like my beater back further sort of thing. So I just adjust my beater so it's back because I play off the head and so it comes off. But apart from that, I don't adjust it. And I had other students who would buy the same sort of pedals, and then one day, they're feeling a specific way. They've got that, it's happening. Their foot's blazing. It's the same with sticks or anything like that. Maybe you're perfectly rested. Maybe you've got, you've just got that right amount of energy. You're loose, all those sort of things. And then the next day you come in, you had a really bad sleep. You're tense, from maybe your day of work or something like that. Something's happened. You're angsty or something like that. But everything changes now. And then they jump on the pedal and they can't play the same thing that they did the day before. And they go, well, it must be that my cam's, so they're down there and fiddling things and trying to adjust it and all that sort of stuff, and you're going, dude. There's a great like with the gear thing. Frank Gibson Jr. used to teach at Drum City, right?
Yep.
And he had, I don't know whether any of you guys ever got to play on his bass drum with that heavy sort of bass drum pedal. I don't know. He had this big butty plastic sort of triangle thing on there, and everyone had problems with it because it was just so heavy. Jojo Mayer comes in, jumps on, and just and you're going, okay, that's just It's like, but that was talent though.
Exactly.
But
He's talented.
So
It's not the gear.
it's not the gear. It's like, how many hours have you done? Have you got your technique sorted? Have you there's so many variables.
This is very closely linked to the first one with the talent.
Oh, absolutely. It's just it's always that time on you. Like one of the other things about the gear was Frank told me the story about cymbals and stuff like that. It's like, and you get this beautiful cymbal, and like in jazz, you're on that ride cymbal all the time, and it takes a while for you to learn how to play it.
Learn the cymbal.
Yep.
You've got to learn how to use this thing, because I did the same thing with my DW kit when I first bought it, thinking the same sort of scenario. It's going to be great. Took it out to a gig, and it was diabolically awful, that gig for me, because it was just it wasn't tuned the way that I normally play.
Just foreign,
and it was foreign. And it's just, what is this thing? This is an alien.
You have to learn your gear.
Then afterwards, it's like, this is my sound. I really love this sound, but everything just takes. Yeah, you're not going to get the perfect sticks. No. I mean, the people that keeps changing their sticks all the time. Sometimes you'll see a stick bag, and you'll see like, I've got this signature series stick, and I've got this one here, and you're going, What?
Yeah, no,
When
I
you
don't
see
get it.
sizes as well, like
Yeah.
big variation in terms of like stick sizes. Like as a young player, you go through your experimentation phase, right?
You have to,
You're literally playing everything.
You talking about drums still?
And
Or?
yeah. Well, still, for the purpose of this, yes. But you go
Disclaimer.
through,
Yeah.
yeah. We should put the disclaimer up.
That's
front.
right, exactly.
But I mean, you're trying out all different sizes and tip lengths and like what shapes and all that sort of crap. And then, like for me, I came back to just a 5A with
Me
like
too.
a ball tip,
Yeah.
And that's been me. That's been me in metal bands. That's been me in theatre stuff. That's been me. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh,
you
metal
know?
gig tonight, I'm going to play 2 Bs. And then jazz gig, I'm going to play 7 As.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
All you're
I
doing
use
there
my
is
sticks.
ruining your technique.
Yeah.
You know, like, because you get confused.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is where I think particularly students get sort of weirded out with, because there's a ton of stuff online and certainly drummers who are out there and doing great things behind the kit are often very open with how they do what they do and what they use and that sort of thing. And it's easy for like a impressionable student to actually go, right, well, that must be why he or she's able to do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's just, you're missing the point. That's just tools. Right? It's just tools. I mean, going back, like my 15-year-old eliminators, I use them because they're comfortable.
That's right.
And it's just what you've got, right?
It's just they're tools,
Yeah.
At the same time, I can sit down at a drum shop and I've got the same level of technique on that pedal or that one
pedal
or that one.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
And I think they do get like that sort of like people will back up the story with things. I think we found there's like one of the comments on Facebook with to do with a pair of sticks. I can't remember whose sticks it was, maybe sticks or something like that. And a person said, "I've just got these, and now my playing is better." And you're going, so they're equating that. I think it was something to do with like,
Talent
I think
sticks.
that's right. Didn't they say that was like something along the lines of like, I only ever practice 5 minutes a day, and then I got these sticks, and now I'm practicing 10 minutes or 30 minutes a day, and I'm getting better. These sticks are amazing.
Well,
And you're going,
No.
but that's
well, it's good. It's good that you're practicing more.
yeah.
That's
So
good.
Maybe you weren't practicing at all before.
Yeah, that's
You think you're onto something here. You did some practice and you improved.
that's right.
Is that potentially what happened?
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm not going to listen to witchcraft.
So I think with the gear thing as well, like I did feel better when I got a better kit, but that was like
Completely.
it was like it was the tone. It was like being on that very cheap kit and probably not having new drum skins on them, that sort of thing, and then getting that brand new $4,000 drum kit. And then hitting those toms that have just been tuned up with brand new heads, and the difference between that old clapped out drum kit with old heads not tuned, coming from a store with this beautiful, it looks nice, it's all pretty, it's so shiny. My drum kit's sitting in the corner with all dust all over it, and rust around on the hoops and
Possum
those sort
living
of
in the bass drum.
Yeah, exactly, that's right. And then so I mean that was really. That made me want to play more. So I get that. I get that. But I still was playing exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yep.
It just sounded better to me.
Yep.
Before anyone comments with it, I want to echo that. So, new gear can inspire you, obviously,
Absolutely.
to jump
Huge.
on more.
Yeah.
If I buy a $5,000 drum kit and I sell my $500 drum kit, do you think I'm going to spend more time with tuning and working with that kit because I love it? It's my baby. I'm gonna sit with it, tune it over and over, try different things. It's gonna sound better. Of course it is. I spent more time in it. The other one, I was kicking around, throwing in a car to gigs, and
Yep.
hadn't tuned it for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. That's the thing.
There's sort of a mental stigma that came with actually buying a really top of the line kit.
It's a
as
shift,
well.
isn't it?
It's a big shift.
Yeah.
And I mean, certainly when I bought my DW collectors in 2006, and that's still the same kit that I use right now, like to this day, because it is my sound. That's what I think a drum kit should sound like, and that's what I think I should sound like. You know, it's just like it's incredibly comfortable. I know how it works. I know how to tune it. I know how to get the tones that I want from it, and that's kind of it. I don't change heads all the time. Like, I've probably had my bass drum head on there for literally 10 years.
Yeah.
Like 10 years. And that's withstood 1 or 2 bass drum notes in that time. Like, that's 1 or 2 million perhaps. But it's like this sort of stuff, you know, it's easy for impressionable players to see like heads constantly being changed on like touring kits or whatever it is. And just to think, maybe I have to do that, or you know, maybe that's like a part of it in order to actually maintain my sound at the highest possible level.
I still feel myself thinking about Lionel Lewis and watching some of his videos relatively recently, and you know, he's been beautifully recorded. You know, the video is pristine, and he's playing these brand new. I think he uses Emperor's coated, and they're pristine. They just look beautiful, and part of me does go, oh, I've got to get some Emperors on my kit. Man.
Yeah.
That is the sound. And then, hold on.
Back up.
I still find myself doing it. And it's like, it is Larnell. He hits his drums a certain way. He's tuned them a certain way. It's beautifully recorded and filmed. Come on.
Yeah. And that's the other thing about the recording side of things. So, right, it goes through a process. The sound that you hear in that recording is not the sound that's behind the drum kit.
It's not the natural sound of the kit in that room.
And you're like going...
More often than not.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's not very often that you're going to have like for instance, your videos, for instance, you've got a phone, right? And that's,
very much.
That sound is the sound, but then not the volume sort of thing. If you are there, that volume, the actual pressure you can actually feel from when somebody hits a snare drum or something like that, that's not there. But but generally, like, there is some altering of sound within our recordings that we have. So and that's, you know, going down that gear with somebody having the $3,000 overheads or something like that versus somebody who's just got all 57s on their kits and stuff like that.
I think sometimes people expect it to be a lot more complex as well. Like, I guess, speaking from my sort of video stuff and my content that I'll put out at Dan Clayton Music,
link below.
You know, I get a lot of comments around, what mics are you using? Or dudes will message me and be like, well, how did you edit this? Or what is it? It's like, I'm not that clever. Like, it's an iPhone duct taped to a music stand.
And this is on my lunch break.
It's a good sounding room. I mean, rooms. I mean, you could go on about this forever. Rooms sound different.
But so really, I guess with the gear thing, I think what we're trying to say is that it's that a culmination of like the amount of hours that you put into it. Again, you got to sit there, you got to develop your sound, whether it's like the type of drum skins that you use on your drum kit, the type of sticks that you are used to, the cymbals that you're used to, that you've learnt to play, all those sort of things. I mean, it's not, you're just not going to find that perfect bit of gear that, like, well, at least for beginners and things like that, people that are coming up and they go, the magic pill, you know? When you're not going to go, all right, I'm going to get a Sonor kit and then I'm going to be a beast. It doesn't work, you know.
I had a PDP. Do you remember the PDP 805? With the white hardware. I got one of those from Drum City.
They're good kits. They're like a birch shell or something, weren't they?
Birch.
They're awesome.
And it came with a DW front head, which I didn't complain about. It had twin port.
Nice.
It looked really,
I think I remember
slick.
that.
It was a very cheap kit. It was about $800. Brand new. Which in New Zealand, if you're watching this from the States, that's $500. But it had this DW front head, and that's just what it came with. I didn't have any money to replace it. I didn't need to or want to replace the front head. And I'm out gigging, and I was doing a corporate, and the engineer came up to me on the break after sound check, and he said, "That is one of the best DWs I've ever heard." And I just thought, now this is not throwing shade at DW or saying the kit sounded like a DW. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying people listen with their eyes.
Sure.
This kit looked really cool. And it's mic'd up. There's a point where you're hearing the front of house and the mics.
Absolutely.
More than the drum kit. Trust me.
Yeah.
And, I didn't, want to ruin his You know, I was like,
like,
thank
yeah,
you very much.
thanks,
It's
man.
very
That's a
kind.
great-
It's also like
Yep.
birch kit with nice 2-player heads in a big room. It's going to sell
Yeah.
fat.
Yeah, exactly.
It's-
It might get just set in that right placement for whatever reason. You
Yeah,
know, they just
placement,
chucked it there.
sure.
All of a sudden, the way that you play it, obviously,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
and
huge.
you know, it like you know, for someone like if you're playing a bass drum, whether you're playing your beater off the head or on the head, you know, that guy might really. And so sorry, it's like with what he thinks is a good sound.
Yes. Yeah.
What
yeah,
he
yeah.
thinks
Yeah.
which is the main thing. So
And the opposite of that, which, because I don't want to make myself sound like I'm the bee's knees, but
bees knees.
He's the bee's knees. That
I had the
fellow
opposite
right
at jazz school with cymbals.
Right.
So playing in combo, and you know, I thought I'd seen Ron play, and thought, man, his cymbals,
That's
those
so
are
good.
jazz.
So good.
They sound so cool and
Yeah.
jazzy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I realized it's my cymbals. You know, I need to change my cymbals. I got to get whatever cymbals Ron's got,
Yeah.
and then I can sound like Ron. And this is at uni level.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that dream was completely smashed when Ron jumped on the kit, like right in front of me with my cymbals on the kit,
Yeah.
different drum kit.
Yeah.
I can't state it any more clearly than that. Different drum kit. Everything was, it sounded like a mastered CD.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's not cymbals.
It's not the symbols.
Well, we had plenty of examples of this in the shop.
Yeah.
Like when we'd it might not even be something fancy. I remember a particular time we got a little Ashton kit. Like an Ashton kit is like literally
Beginner, right?
500,
Beginner,
600
yeah.
bucks. Like all in. You get Ashton cymbals.
Yes,
you get
yeah, that's right. C,
heads,
They don't
everything.
last
everything.
long.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they don't last long. Not the fastest hi-hat pedal.
No,
either.
that's right.
Very
Exactly.
slow on the hi-hat.
That's right.
But I mean, besides the hi-hat pedal being particularly pedestrian, we set it up, and the room in the shop at Drum City, there's something about it. Like everything's just sounded huge.
Yeah.
All the
Right?
drums, man.
All sounded
Oh,
huge.
yeah.
Reverberating.
Which was killer. And I mean, the bass drum had nothing in it, you know, and
Yeah, I'm sure that didn't everyone come in and play on that thing?
everyone
Played on that.
You
thing.
come. I
Yeah.
remember you were out teaching and stuff, and be like, "Bro, you got to come and
Yeah,
hit
play-
this."
yeah.
You're like, "What? It's an Ashton." You're like,
yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
You're like,
It's like,
nah, bro.
sorry, mate. I only play on the high-end boutique drum kits.
But it's so buzzy though. Like that kit sounded great with everybody
Yeah.
playing it.
Remember
you know?
those
And it's an
cymbals? On it?
Ashton.
Yeah, the cymbals that were on it. They were so funky.
Yeah.
You could play them, and they're like those. You know, this one's pressed out of sheet metal. You're sitting there playing on it, going, shh. You go, oh.
Yeah.
It just sounded so good.
I've had the same thing at schools because drum kits at schools get absolutely brutalized.
Yeah.
And I remember teaching, it was Ponsonby Intermediate, and they had this old kit. The kids were always complaining about the kit because it didn't look very good
Oh, yeah.
and had been beaten to death.
Yeah.
It still had the factory heads on it.
Oosh.
And it was, I could tell it was old, covered in dust, covered in cobwebs. And the heads were just like, doo, 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 like the thickest,
Mean.
fattest. You know that sound of like when a head's just been literally beaten to death?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it sounds like Fleetwood Mac.
Wow.
Like without even
Yeah.
trying.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh. And I jumped on it. Actually, coming back to gear a little bit here, because I jumped on it and I played different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it
Completely.
sounded different. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't want to do fast fills here. I just
Yeah.
want to dum, bum, bra, ba, da, da, da.
Yeah. Sure. Totally.
Oh, it sounds
Yeah.
so beautiful.
I mean, if you had that kit plus the fast hi-hat stand,
You sorted.
you would have been amazing.
Yeah. I mean, those low-tuned toms and them fast hi-hat sounds.
Yeah, that's right. It just goes for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things just I'd like to mention about gear as well is that the seat that I'm sitting on, you haven't given me the top part of it. I'm just sitting on
No,
the
you-
pole. So can I?
You seem to be quite enjoying it.
Yeah, can I?
You've been there forever so
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, you've noticed that I haven't really been moving.
Oh dear. Remember, leave us a comment with what you think about gear. Hopefully, we've given it a fair shot, and you know, and just gear's great. We love gear. I love
Yeah.
gear,
Sure.
but it doesn't change
Yeah.
you as a player. It doesn't.
No.
It doesn't play into the amount of time you put into your instrument or the work you put in.
That's it.